Welcome to the Ingredients for Success podcast. I'm Jackie Rizzo, and today on this episode, we have the lovely Jen Dieter joining us. Jen, it is so good to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't met Jen or heard from her or of her until now, you are in for a real treat. She is an amazing CrossFit athlete, 6 times, right, at the CrossFit Games?
Yes.
And finishing the highest 5th place in your age group. You
Yes.
also set the Olympic weightlifting world record in 2018, which is incredible for your age group. And then just last year, you were given the USA National Championship title. Yeah?
Yes.
And then, oh my goodness. And you also, I feel like you have all these titles. And then you won the Legends Masters Championship, as well as the Fittest Experience. Now, I haven't heard of the Fittest Experience. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was in Austin, Texas, and it's a pretty big competition that's been around for several years, to my knowledge. It's the first time I've ever competed in it, but it's one of the sort of bigger regional or sanctional type of events. I mean, CrossFit got rid of sanctionals, but it was sort of on that level of events. So they had a pretty decent draw from different areas coming in, which was great. Yeah, I think there were about 20 people in each division at that event.
Wow. It's really incredible just to hear even your list as an athlete, all that you have accomplished. But not just that, you're a mom of 3 teenagers, which
Yes.
I have teenagers too. That's huge in itself. And you're a physical therapist that manages 9 other offices. Is that correct? 9?
That's right.
Wow.
Yes, 9.
Are they all in the Jacksonville area?
Most of them are. I have one that's in Merritt Island, and then the rest are in kind of the greater Jacksonville, North Florida region. And they're all, outpatient physical therapy, sports medicine, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I treat patients about half of my work week, and then the other half of my work week is, administrative, marketing, management, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you are part of a podcast called the Masters Chatter. Is that right? You and is it 6 other men?
Yes. I think that they first kind of brought me on because they were like, oh, we should probably get a girl on for a guest speaker. And then I was friends with one of them, through someone else. And so then after that, they decided they probably should keep the token female on there. So I think they keep me around just as a token female. But the most enjoyable part for me is I'm part of their group text. And, it's like, I don't know, it's like seeing the inside of teenage boys' brains. They don't really change when they're masters athletes as men either. So I love those guys, but yeah, it's great. But we did a podcast every week during COVID. And then, during like the big shutdown, and then we've backed off a little bit, but then we're back on it again since we are right in the middle of the CrossFit Open right now.
Yes, it's very exciting that it's all starting back up again, and hopefully we'll actually follow through and do live events in July in Madison, right? I'm really looking forward to that, to watch you, because there's no doubt that you're going to be in there.
Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because I think, aren't you ranked in the 1% right now in your age group? Like the high?
Yeah, right. I mean, after the first week, I'm sitting in 12th place, and I think I looked it up. I can't remember exactly how many people were in my division right now. I'm drawing a blank. But enough to where I think I'm in like the top 1% in the world for all women. And then, better than that essentially for my age group. So depending on how the next 2 weeks go, I could make it on to the next cut. So they changed CrossFit, and they don't have regionals anymore, but they have these like next levels that you can move up to. So I could potentially move into the next level for all ages and for masters as well. So that would be kind of exciting.
That is exciting. Now, you've only been in CrossFit for, is it 7 years? I feel like, what led you into CrossFit actually?
Yeah, so I started off, not really thinking that I would bother trying it. My sister is the first one that told me about it. And I have been a physical therapist for forever and felt like I knew a lot about exercise. I mean, I've sort of been some kind of an athlete my whole life, basically. And when she told me about it, I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's all well and fine, but I'm not going to pay to go have someone tell me what to do for exercise. I already know, I'm a physical therapist, please. I already know what to do. So then, you know, maybe my cocky side might have gotten the better of me on that. And so she lives in Oregon, and she kept riding me on it. Like, you really need to try it. You would love it. Because we were all gymnasts. I'm one of 3 girls, and we were all gymnasts when we were younger. And then I was a diver in college. And she was like, you would just love like the different movements and the gymnastics element and all that kind of stuff. And so then she finally kind of beat me down on it. She's like, okay, I found a gym. It's 2 miles from your house. There's a group on special right now. Just go. And I was like, fine, I'll just go for a month and I'll try it. And then I'll just, you know, do it on my own afterwards. But I kind of just did it to appease her. And about my 3rd workout in, I don't remember exactly what the workout is, because I usually just like push these things out of my head when I'm suffering. But I remember doing box jumps and burpees and sweating and drooling and, you know, kind of equating it to my childbirth that I had with my kids, how hard it was. And I was like, oh, I'll never stop doing CrossFit. I just love it. And that was actually 9 years ago now.
9 years. Does your sister take credit for all that you've accomplished?
Oh, yes.
In the CrossFit
She absolutely
world.
does. And I have to brag on her just a little bit. She's done the CrossFit Open several times and has competed with me in some big events like Wadapalooza. She's 16 months younger than I am. So she just moved up to the 45-year-old division. And I was just out in Oregon last week for spring break, and she did this first CrossFit Open workout, and she is sitting in, she didn't sign up because she doesn't want to sign up, but if she had signed up, she would be in 20th place in the world in our division right now. And she like just kind of does CrossFit for fun, no big deal, but she's really, really something herself. So I do owe a lot to her for getting me to do it. And, you know, kudos to her for being really great herself.
Yeah, that's really cool. It sounds like you guys are like a power family. Were you very competitive growing up?
Oh, extremely competitive. And like I said, she's 16 months younger than I am, and we all did. And then my other sister's another 4 years younger than her, and we all were gymnasts. And like I said, and then divers through high school. And so we were just, I mean, Michelle, the one that's closest to me, we were, terribly competitive. And then I went to University of Virginia as a diver. She went to University of North Carolina as a diver. And we were kind of evil to each other, you know, like when we would have dual meets against each other, we would say all kinds of mean things to each other to try to psych each other out and all that. So we probably took competitive to a pretty high level. Yes, for sure.
Which has really helped you in the CrossFit arena, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes.
Well, for those who don't know, you know, we have had you as kind of like our influencer per se, being an ingredient supplier and innovator. In one of our marketing meetings, we had this brainstorming of how can we raise more brand awareness. We know influencers are really great. And after finding you, I think I just stumbled upon you on Instagram or something, and then Googled your name, and all of these accomplishments started coming up, and what you've done with Rock Tape, you know, there was an interview there. And so we just thought, Jen Dieter, we need to talk with her. And we were trying to get together for an interview, and I don't know if you remember, but I had called you and we did the phone interview, and I was like writing everything as fast as I could down, everything you were saying. And then when you agreed for us to come and see you and do a photo shoot, video shoot, I feel like in 2 weeks we were there. It was like, we've got to be with you and we have to find out more. And it has been quite a journey for us at Stratum in our marketing department. You know, how do we take an ingredient and an influencer when we don't have a finished product? So I would love to hear more from your end of it and your perspective of why did you say yes to accepting, well, our flagship, our branded natural eggshell membrane, our NEM. Why did you say yes to all of that?
Gosh, you know, I feel like it's a combination of reasons. I honestly, our phone conversation was a big thing. I mean, I think I just got the vibe from you, or you got it from me, or, you know, whatever. It just kind of seemed like it made sense from how you were explaining the product to me. I've always been a pretty big, you know, vitamin, natural supplement kind of person. I think my mom had us on Shackley vitamins when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So it's something that it's been part of my life. Taking vitamins and that sort of thing has been part of my life for forever. I'm not a big pill user. I mean, my coach always gets on to me. He's like, every once in a while it's okay to take ibuprofen if you have a headache. And I'm like, oh, no, you know, God forbid. But the natural world, I really like that sort of thing. So when you explained to me eggshell membrane and then sent me literature on it, it just made a lot of sense. And as an aging athlete, I want to try to protect my body and my joints and, everything as much as I can. So I felt like, okay, well, this product makes a lot of sense to me, to see how much it can help me and my performance and my longevity in the sport. And that's, really what we're all looking for, right? Is longevity and whatever it is that we love to do.
Mm-hmm. And that is so true. We had Bill Grundler, who's another CrossFit athlete. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that, although we are in our 40s, our joints probably feel like they're in their 80s, if we're not being consistent and we're not taking care and being aware and into joint health, especially in CrossFit with all the movements and such. One thing that you have really helped us with that Stratum, and I just want to praise you in this, is that you were with us in the beginning of how do we do this? How do we become, because we say we are an ingredient supplier, an innovator, but we want it to be more than that. We want to be a proactive partner to our finished brands, and we want to be able to be sure that we're giving them the best that we can give them. And in doing so, it's connecting influencers with our brands. And you were actually the first one that we were able to do that with Red Remedies. Can you tell us a little bit about that process and just what you've learned through that as well?
Yeah, so I think it was a little bit of an educational process for me and understanding, because at first I was afraid it was a conflict of interest. Like, I didn't realize how together you guys were. So that made me really happy, because I liked the Red Remedies people. I liked the Red Remedies products, but I was like, ooh, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And then when you gave me the green light, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. We're all in it together, And then the Red Remedies products, the brand has been around for a long time. And then being able to take the NEM still in one of their products makes me very happy. And, now I take their whole line of products, which has been great. And then working with that company has been fantastic as well.
That's great. Do you have any advice for finished brands who are wanting to take on influencers in the natural products industry space? Do you have any advice for them on what they can do or how to better take care of influencers?
I would say in general, communication has been a great thing. So the people that I talk to at Red Remedies, they have been very upfront, with me. So I don't feel like there's a lot of guesswork or, and that sort of thing. So sort of expectations are laid out upfront, which is a good thing. And then really you have to believe in the product, right? So, there's been a couple times where they've asked me like, oh, are you taking this one? And I was like, I'm taking all of it. I really, really like this stuff. So yes, I take the bone health one. Yes, I take the joint, health one. Yes, I take the muscle ease, I guess there's a couple products that aren't appropriate for me that I don't take, but for most of the musculoskeletal products, I'm a firm believer in the product. So I think finding an influencer, or your person that truly believes in the product that you're trying to present to people would make a huge difference. And then having that communication and relationship, I guess, to kind of keep the communication going so that there's no surprises. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or very little surprises. There's always surprises in life, but to at least to try to be ready for them.
That is so true. Thank you. I feel like communication is key, like in every kind of relationship, whether it's with your children or it's with, an ambassador program, or even through CrossFit with your coach. Kind of going back a little bit to the beginning. Now, you've been with the same coach this entire time. Is that correct? Which is not heard of. Is that right?
Yes. His name's Lance Scott, and he owns a gym called Crucible CrossFit. And he is actually the person that taught me my first fundamentals class. So that I didn't even know what a clean was. I didn't know what a snatch was. I didn't know anything. And, he's the one who probably laughed at me the whole time as I was going through and trying to learn these different movements. And that was 9 years ago, and he still coaches me every day. So it's been a good thing. I mean, certainly it's been a journey. I would say that, you know, we both have grown a lot, as has the sport of CrossFit, you know, through all of this. So I do feel like it's probably a unique situation to have the same, you know, person, but it's nice because at competitions and in training, he knows how to push me. And I've always said he knows how to like wring out every last drop of repetitions in a workout for me. You know, so being able to have someone that you trust makes a big difference. You know, certainly I've had, luckily, knock on wood, I've never had any significant injuries since I've been in CrossFit. I did have a fracture in my spine when I was in college, but I've managed that pretty well. And over the years, I've had little, you know, tweaks or sprains and strains and that sort of thing. And he's also helped me kind of understand my physical therapy brain a little bit, because before I was, you know, the level of CrossFit athlete that I am now, just as a physical therapist, I would very much say like, oh, back off, don't do that, you know, don't really rest, and just do physical therapy. But he's been very creative with coming up with modifications for workouts. So if I do have something going on, it's not like, oh, well, just don't do anything today. Let's do everything else that you can do without irritating XYZ, you know, whatever's going on. And I think that that's allowed me to stay at a higher level athletically, and then also to, again, knock on wood, manage to not have any significant injuries that have stopped me in my tracks.
That's great. For anyone who is listening and in the Jacksonville area, it sounds like they really need to go to Crucible CrossFit to talk with your coach and to just get involved. I'm sure that's an amazing relationship from him seeing you from the beginning, not knowing how to snatch, clean, and jerk, and then here you are. Now you hold a world record in it, you know, back when you were given that. So that's really, really awesome.
Has some pictures. He likes to remind me every once in a while. There's several pictures of me with a bleeding forehead because I kept bouncing the barbell off of my forehead when I was doing snatches. So every once in a while, he'll remind me how far I've come because I was not very good at the beginning. So.
Well, Jen, it has been so good to talk with you. And we look forward to hearing, you know, just kind of how this summer goes. And I know that you've got week 2 of open routines or workouts coming up. Is that right?
Yeah, they released the workout tonight.
Oh, they do tonight? Okay, great. Yeah. And so you'll do that. And then there's week 3. And then you hear whether or not you made it, right?
Yeah.
To the open, which no doubt I'm sure you are definitely making it. So we will keep watch and cheer you on the whole way. So thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and for anyone who is listening, be sure to hit the subscribe button because you never want to miss one of our episodes. And until next time, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you.